right, welcome back, everybody. An excerpt of Stephen Ratner's upcoming book in last weekend's Journal painted an inside picture of the powers that be in President Obama's White House. Some are questioning now if this financial dream team is up to the task. Joining us right now is Mike Jackson. He is the chairman and CEO of AutoNation. Now, Mike, I know you're critical of the team in the White House, but you were also very much in favor of what happened with the bailout of GM and beyond. So how do you put those two together?
Well, I think actually the Auto Task Force could have served as a template for other big issues like the housing industry and creating jobs. Here you took turnaround experts like Ratner, you know Ron Bloom,
right? I know Ron.
Who took emergency measures, tactical measures, and figured out a strategy. No sacred cow was spared. Equal pain for everybody. Saved an industry. Saved an industry for the United States.
How did the union end up with 4 times what it was worth for its financial?
Yeah, the union agreed to things that they said they never would to in their history, such as taking equity in return for future benefits, and that was a line the unions would never go over before, and now they have a shared stake in the future of General Motors and Chrysler. They must succeed.
But Mike, their shared stake was 4 times what the secured debt holder stake was.
I think you can make fairness argument about whose ox got gored worse, that we could spend the rest of the day here. But if you're doing, Wilbur, you know, if you're doing this restructuring, everybody's going to be unhappy to a certain extent.
But you remember the legitimate questions about contract law at the time, right?
And that's Chrysler, too.
You cannot restructure an industry and completely turn it around without breaking a lot of China. And I got to give Ratner and Ron Bloom and the support of the White House a lot of credit that they did it right. And well, Wilbur's a turnaround expert.
You know, we did the same thing in steel that they did in autos. The only difference was it happened to be government rather than a private investor. Because think about it, government funded the plan of reorganization. You fund the plan, you call the shots. That's what we did with Bethlehem, LTV, and the others. And we also made a deal that you could argue was more favorable to the unions. Why? Because we got work rule concessions, we got what we needed. So it was a trade. It's much more complicated than just to say, oh, well, this one is here in the credit sequence. What would the banks have gotten if you liquidated General Motors? They've gotten diddly squat. I mean, it's fine to say they're secured. The factory is only good if it can produce cash flow.
So everyone's unhappy. The dealers are unhappy. They have a long list of complaints.
But there are cries of crony capitalism with the way the deal was orchestrated. And
you're asking from my point of view for restructuring that industry
GM,
with turnaround
you sell
experts.
GM and Chrysler cars.
I give them. No, I think if the American economy hadn't been teetering on the brink of depression, you may have been able to handle it differently, but you have to always look at the environment. In this case, they did and said the U.S. economy cannot withstand the collapse of the automobile industry in the U.S. It would have swept away all the suppliers. Nobody would have been able to build a car in America.
So what's your complaint, though? I mean, that was my point of saying
so they did
agree
the
with
auto
this.
industry right, but if you look at how they've handled the rest of the turning around of the economy, they didn't follow the same discipline. And I give them an A on emergency measures that they took, but then the key moment was the stimulus package. And it was an $800 billion opportunity to get it right, and the president delegated it to Congress, and it was very poorly structured. And then he turned around and pivoted and had his mission accomplished moment. Said the stimulus is going to fix the economy. Now we can turn to other things. And that's a classic turnaround mistake where you underestimate the challenge and you turn to other issues rather than to continuing a laser focus on turning around the economy.
Healthcare in particular.
Healthcare in particular. And in turning around the economy, there's 2 things you definitely do not do. You do not expand entitlements because you're taking all these emergency measures that eventually you have to unwind. So during that storm where you don't know how it's going to come out, you can't expand entitlements, and healthcare did that. And you certainly don't raise any taxes until you have the economy humming again. And for Obama to play the class warfare card during this economic tumultuous period, I think is unconscionable. And I think American people see that. I think there's tremendous anger and frustration. And it's basically down to, if you want to create jobs in America, you're going to have to vote Republican this November, because we can't repeat what we've been doing for the last 2 years and turn around this
Mike,
economy.
I wish we had more time to dig into this. We are short on time today, but thank you very much for coming in.
Yeah, pleasure to see you.
Playing the music on us already. I appreciate it. Mike Jackson, again, take a look at what's still to come this